Welcome back to the online poker vlog. We're looking at trips or better today, all at one table. Let's go. The procession of playable hands proceeds with sixes on the button, facing a raise from the low jack. There's two folds to me, and now I can cold call or I can 3-bet. I think both are fine. Looking at the blinds, I think this is a pretty good spot to be cold calling. If the blinds were tighter or squeezier, or the raiser was of a particular variety, actually this player, maybe I would be 3-betting more if I thought the blinds were tougher. Here I feel like I'm happy to play a 4-way pot, so I go ahead and flat this, and one of the players comes along, and I flop pretty dang good. It checks to me, and I think I want to start building the pot. I'm happy to get stacks in, usually, in this spot, even at like 10-1 SPR versus one player, 15-1 against another. So I start betting, I bet half pot, and I do get one call, and then the turn's an ace of hearts. And I think this is a little interesting, where when they check to me, I think they're going to have an ace here a fair amount of the time. I think a check call with an ace X is going to be fairly common. Over pairs like nines through kings, I would maybe want to target with a smaller bet, but would they just check them and call them on this flop? I don't know. I think an ace is pretty likely. So I bet $9.99 to kind of just price it like the grocery store does, where it's like, actually, I guess that's what ebooks on Amazon are going to be, right? On Kindle. $9.99. You get the maximum royalties. Anyway, you know, whatever. We'll talk about books later someday when I write one again. Anyway, right here, I think I set a fair price. I think if they have an eight, like if they have an ace, they can't refuse this. If they have an 8, I don't know. They shouldn't have a lot of 8s, right? So I like my bet size. They don't. They fold. And I do win the pot, but I don't win a big one. Pocket sixes again. Let's flop another set. All right. It folds to me. I raise. I get everybody calling. And you know what's better than flopping a set? Flopping a boat. Particularly when that other card that's paired on board is like a card people can have, right? People play sevens out of the blinds from the button, loose players. They're going to have a 7. So when they check it to me, I think it's important to just start betting here. I'm not going to bet a ton of my range on this flop, right? But pocket sixes, 7x, some heart draws, like especially like 8-9 of hearts or like 9-10 of hearts, and some overpairs, I think all can just start going for value now, and maybe some nut flush draws as well, right? I think I do want to put in some bets here. It's not like I'm checking range, and a hand like this I think can use a large sizing. I use half pot because I also kind of want to give my opponents a chance to like make something and lose, but unfortunately they don't have anything and they don't decide to go and try and make something. You know, you can't force it, right? I do think starting with value now is important because with the stack to pot ratio, in order to get stacks in on the river without some huge overbet, I really need to start betting now. So I'm fine with how I played this hand. I'm fine with winning the pot. It would have been nice to win a bigger one. Queen 9 suited in the cutoff. Bit of a weird one here where I raise the cutoff, I just get called by the blind, and I flop middle pair with a backdoor second nut flush draw. They check to me, and I think this is a good spot to put a C-bet out. I'm not going to be betting my entire range here with my cutoff open range, as I've got a lot of kind of like way ahead, way behind situations where like if I have like kings, queens, I don't think those hands love betting here, but a hand like Queen 9, I've got a good kicker with second pair. If they have a hand like King Jack, King 10, they can have a lot of equity that I can deny by betting here and getting them to fold. But also, if I happen to be behind to a hand like Ace 5, a hand like Queen 9 with clubs is going to do much better than a hand like Pocket Queens, right? Pocket Queens needs to hit a queen. Queen 9 with clubs can hit a queen. It can hit a 9. It can hit running clubs, right? So this hand I think makes a much better bet than a hand like pocket queens or kings. So I do bet it. I'm pretty confident in this bet. I get called. Not that I'm always ahead. Not that I'm always ahead when I'm called. Sometimes behind, sometimes ahead. But just in the fact that I think this is a good bet to make. Turns a 4 and they check. And I don't think there's that much value in betting now. This isn't a hand that I'm really trying to like push someone off an ace with, and it's not a hand that I'm really trying to get value from all that much anymore either, right? The 2 overcard hands probably folded. Hands that are against me either have, you know, they can have like a 6, they can have a weaker 9, or they can have an ace and have me kind of crushed. So I check it back, and then I river 2 pair. Fantastic. They check it to me. I'm definitely going to bet for value here. I think an ace often bets here, so it's a little tricky to get value. I bet about half pot. I think I could have gone smaller with this. I maybe got a little greedy and was like hoping that they had flopped an ace, but they check raise me. They min check raise me, and I don't know. I was hoping maybe they have a hand like queen 6 here, that would kind of make some sense as a check raise. And it turns out they did hit 2 pair, but they hit 2 pair on the turn and they had flopped the ace. So I lose this one. They win this lovely pot. And I don't know, I'm okay with how I played it. They played it so weird. That river min check raise is just so strong. But like folding there, getting, what am I getting? Like 5-1. I don't think it's a great idea. Just letting people get you off 2 pair with a min river check raise, laying you 5-1, right? So I called, I lost. All right, let's look at one more or two. Pocket jacks in the cutoff. I'm going to raise this. I am going to get called. I am going to flop a set. I'm going to get bet into. And here with this board, I'm thinking, okay, I am blocking top pair. That's not great. But there are a lot of draws that this person can have. I've already seen them bet flop, bet turn, and then like check fold river, right? So I feel like, you know what, let's get value now. Let's get value from all those draws and try and build a big pot. And maybe I've set overset them also, that's possible. And, you know, let's go now before the board runs out weird. So they call and then I turn a boat. Yay, they check it to me. And I'm thinking, okay, I should probably keep betting in order to get value. Maybe they had a hand like ace deuce of hearts is available, right? Let's just put some money in now. They're not going anywhere with a hand like that. With hearts, I feel like this board looks fairly innocuous. So if they have some kind of flush draw, I'm going to have a lot of 1 pair hands, right? Like pocket queens plus, you know, ace jack, stuff like that I can raise the flop with. And if they do have a rare jack, I guess, then maybe I can get called because my hand can still look like a draw. So I put a bet in and I don't know, I choose these weird sizes. This is just how I roll, but it's basically half pot and they just fold. So I don't know what they were doing or what they had. Maybe they folded a flush draw. That's pretty brutal, but maybe they were just kind of bluffing and called on the flop for like reasons and then folded. Who knows? Last hand, we're going to look at ace 10 of spades in the cutoff. I'm going to open raise, get called by the small blind, and flop pretty good. Unless they have ace 3, pocket 3s, maybe ace jack, we basically got the nuts, right? Ace king, ace queen, usually those are going to 3-bet pre, maybe they occasionally have them. There's tons of weaker ace x hands they can have. Hard to get called by a whole lot of hands here, but if they check, I'm certainly going to bet. But they don't check. They bet half pot, which is weird. Right? Like if they have pocket 3s or ace 3, I would think they would want to check raise me, get some value from just my garbage hands. So I think they're sometimes just going to have garbage here when they lead. It's just some weird hand like, I don't know, king 4 of hearts or like whatever. But sometimes they can have a big hand. They certainly can have an ace sometimes. I decide to just call and kind of give them some more rope, let them maybe make something. If they have some random cards, they can make an overcard of the 3 or whatever. And then the turn's a 7, and now they check it to me. All right, there's a little bit of the way, you know, of draws here, right? A little bit in the way of draws. There's, 4-5, that was a gutter on the flop, became a double gutter. There's some other gut shots that have appeared, and diamonds are possible. And you'll notice the only ace available is the ace of diamonds. So they can certainly have trips plus the nut flush draw, which is a pretty sweet hand. So I think I want to go big here. I bet 777 as this just weird. I don't know. I do this. I could go bigger, but when they check, I kind of feel like they probably don't have that much ace X, and they call though. So I think, okay, maybe it is a hand like ace 5 or something like that. Maybe they do have diamonds. If they picked up diamonds, I feel like they probably bet, but I'm not going to be terrified of a river diamond. River 9 doesn't look that bad. Sure, I have ace 10. If they had ace 7 or ace 9, they just got there, right? So there's fewer kickers I beat. I'd rather see a hand card like a jack on the river, right? So then I was losing to ace jack anyway, so I don't really mind that comes. My kicker doesn't get counterfeited because we already had the 7 and the 3 out there. So they check, and I'm trying to think, how much can I get out of this person, right? I don't think I'm beat very often at all. Occasionally, I'll get check raised, right? But I think usually my hand is good here, so I'm just trying to figure out how much value can I get. I settle on 17, which is about 2/3 to 3/4 pot. All right, I think that's a reasonable bet size. Maybe I could go more like 19, 19.99, get it now. But, they call, so it feels like it was a good bet size. And then they turn over pocket 3s. So, yeah, they've got crabs, not that kind, and they win the pot. So, you never want to be playing with someone and then find out that they have crabs, right, on a board like this. Yeah. So that was it for the, yeah. I don't know. Thanks so much for watching the whole video. Like it if you like it, hit subscribe and the bell to see more. And if you have friends who you think would like this format, let them know. It'll help grow the channel and it'll help me spend a lot more time making these. All right, peace.